All right, so we're about what, as you can see here, 78% done, 79. We're asking this thing to only run another scan of 5,600 stocks. I think this would be good to have at least you can see the video if you didn't see it today, or if you're going to be back tomorrow. At least you can kind of watch these videos. You find it by clicking up on the little tab at the top, and just click on what is it, archives, and then go recordings, and then just, even though the recordings aren't dated, or they're dated, they're not titled, you know that they are, at least you know that they were in the afternoon today, and you can take a look at those videos. So hopefully just review the videos that I've done that we covered with running scans on Thinkorswim. We've run scans with TradeStation for high close dojis, and now we're running scans in Thinkorswim, or excuse me, TradeStation on just daily PPS. So, I mean, I'm not interested in looking at sell signals because I know everything's like pretty much down. What I want to find out, and what we're trying to uncover, is different buy signals, whether it's a PPS, whether it's a high close doji, and I'm looking for a concentration of names in any specific sector. If we start to see a concentration of stocks in the sector, biotech, technology, energy, you know, you can kind of read in whether the money flow and institution is coming in versus going out. And sneakily, that's when we start to see if, and the reason I'm doing this and talking about it to the room today after the market is because we started to hear some of these big boys with big bucks and these fund managers that are going back into the market. Well, if they are, where, you know, they're not disclosing what they're really buying. Okay, maybe they're adding to positions. Maybe they just took some money out. Maybe they're trading around a position. I don't know. Could it be Amazon? Could it be Facebook? They're probably in some of the technology names because that's where they were before. We just found a couple names that was very interesting to me. Hertz was one, you know, and another 5 below. So here we have a list of stocks. These are all, if you're not listed, TradeStation unfortunately puts them under preferreds. It doesn't really list the sector of the stock. And as you can see here, we have bond funds, so IBTJ. So we've just asked this thing to scan literally in everything. iShares MBS ETF, Zions Bancorp. It is a 6.95%. We're starting to see some preferred bank stocks paying dividend. That's another interesting one. I always love to look through the preferreds to see, you know, if preferred stocks are being bid up, they're looking at what? Getting that extra dividend yield. They're not going to probably get much price appreciation, but they're getting that dividend. So dividend yielding stocks make sense to me. But now what about other names? I want to see if the real money's coming into the market, because you'll see the common stock go up, right? And as you can see, we got basic materials. I'm not familiar with who this company is, Commercial Metals Company. Again, mid-cap, probably name. Volume is huge, bullish convergence relative to the on-balance volume. This is you know, just it intrigues me to look at these names in the basic materials, commercial metals. What would that have to do with construction, right? Commercial metals. I'd have to look to see who these guys are and to look at their profile at least, and see what their let's see, what are Irvine, Texas? That's kind of basic metal and mining. Okay, so that's kind of interesting, right? And their valuations, and start looking at the numbers. So a PE of 5, and that's book value 0.95. Price to book is pretty low. That's a pretty interesting number. So these guys, taking a look here, and you guys can go through these numbers tomorrow if you want to watch the recording and don't need me. I just thought I'd provide it in this video. So again, The key is if anyone was in the room and had to leave, at least you know that we're going to cover this tonight and it's in the videos and you can watch it again tomorrow. I don't need to be in the room for you to see that video. It's just here and we can take a quick review. And that's the purpose of the video. So you guys, if you want to go and watch the video later, that's the beauty of our trade room, which is why I probably didn't believe in buying Zoom, because this is such great technology software that we're using. And it's not something that it's unique. But anyway, all right, moving through Fluor. Another thing that's interesting, capital goods, another stock that I'm sure you're familiar with, Fluor Corporation. So this is one that just got, I mean, holy gee willikers, Batman, a $40 stock that's now almost it was a $2 stock the other day. How the hell did we miss that one? It did again last week, where we got these massive sell-offs, and then something goes from 2 to 6. How is that possible? I missed that. And then the market made newer lows, and possibly this is what the VIX or the VXX is telling us by it going down to 51 when the stock market was trying to make a new low today. The volatility traders didn't believe it, and maybe because these stocks that we're seeing made new lows last week and have recovered since. All right, American Outdoor Brands, gun company, right? Aren't they the guys that make Smith & Wesson? I could be wrong, but so there's a big run, people buying bullets. There's a big run on people buying guns. They think, martial law. They want a gun to protect life, liberty, and home. Okay, I get that. I get that sword story. I got it. And then again, Deckers shows up. Deckers, I'm not sure why, but it was not only a high close doji, but a PPS. And again, Deckers outdoor. Maybe they sell guns. Maybe that's it. They're selling ammunition. They're selling guns. Maybe that's the connection there. Coty, C-O-T-Y. We're familiar with that name. Not really a dividend yielder by any stretch of the imagination, but a lot of people are interested in, and we've seen this stock pop up. I'm just not interested in that. But Noble Energy, wow, wait a minute now, gang. We got Noble Energy. How the hell did that generate a buy signal? That didn't show up on our list with Thinkorswim. So I think it's important to see the Noble Energy, which was a $25 stock back at the beginning of the year, a $2 stock. Don't think they're going out of business, but we started to see Royal Dutch Shell. That's another one. So it looks like there's nibbling going on. Mike C has been talking about there's some sick valuation. Mike C, one of our members in the room, and we've been saying this. There's sick valuation, meaning stocks that went from like, it's 1/3 its value in less than 30 days. This is Royal Dutch Shell, and they pay a dividend. So anyway, our bet is going with Exxon here and Parsley Energy. Again, we noted that in Thinkorswim, we saw a lot of small cap stuff with their PPS buys, and this is a little bit larger cap stuff. But if you notice, it's all these energy names. It's kind of interesting. Parsley, Royal Dutch, Diamondback, Fang, right? Another one. So we're starting to see some nibbling in the energy today. For the first time ever, stock market down, if I'm not mistaken, energy stocks up. That's an interesting. So it seems to me that there's money flow going into a little bit of energy bottom picking in some names there. And we'll watch that as we get into maybe not tomorrow to see if other names join in energy. And then you want to watch Wednesday and Thursday to see if there's a beginning build up here. All right. All right, in the financials, earlier today I said, I don't know about these banks. Bank America at 18. I think you got to start. I got to be thinking about some of these energies if they get really cheap. I mean, like too good to be true cheap, and they're not quite there yet. But anyway, in the financials, you don't see any big banks or little banks or any banks, so nothing populated today. In healthcare, what did we get? I'm not Imogen. I'm familiar with them a little bit. It's $6 stock because it's in one of these biotech names that just keep popping up with buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Look at the buy, sells. This is why it always populates on my screens. Cara Therapeutics is another one. And it's been buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. It's very choppy. I'm not sure I want to go with that, but I do like the PMC, just to tell you. I love that pattern Market made a substantial newer low. Relative strength did not, nor did my volume indicator. That is a very strong, and it even shows up in OBV, a strong bullish convergence in Cara. So Cara might be one. We've got a couple stocks that we've talked about, and we want to look at unusual. Review the video recordings, okay? CARA. Where else did we get that in the lots of healthcare? Gee, I wonder why. Okay, finally we're getting a lot, but these are a lot of penny stocks, so we would have to double check some of these names. Who was that last one? Who was the last one? I mean, some of these patterns aren't that bad, to be honest. I'm looking at the indicator, and I want everyone to understand that. I'm not looking just at price as much as I'm also looking at the indicator patterns. I want to see the indicator pattern with relative strength as well as the PMC and the volume indicator. That's what I'm looking at, right? So there were some interesting stocks here that have, I don't want to downplay the $2 stuff, because if they were 20 bucks and now they're $2, it's a different story. We did get a lot of these penny stocks. It looks like this is a penny stock, whoever T2 Biosystems are. I mean, it's a 40-cent stock. It's a penny stock. Anyway, what do we got here? Live Nation Entertainment. Are you out of your mind? I mean, we can't go into groups, but yet someone feels compelled that one of these days we're going back to rock concerts, or maybe we'll get a lot of these rock groups to do a lot of benefits eventually, and everyone's doing stuff from home. I don't know, but here's one. Jack in the Box. I never understood them. But Jack in the Box. And here's your PPS buy signal. So we are getting a lot of, I mean, I understand this stock was 87. It's at 16 and 26. I don't think people are going to stop buying burgers one day at this place. So I want everyone to understand that this is looking a little bit better. TripAdvisor is a freaky one. You would think nobody's going to take a trip, but yet here's a daily buy signal. All right, so we are getting, and this is, I think, Chipotle Mexican Grill, Penn National Gaming. Holy moly, gang. I mean, look at some of these names. You can see that, yes, there is nibbling. Look at the volume pattern on Penn National Gaming. That, to me, is a very, very strong opportunity right there. When you see a V bottom like that in the volume, that, my friends, is interesting. And that's not just interesting, because if the volume precedes price, we're back to volume levels when we were up there on the OBV. And even my histogram is one of the highest bars. This was the highest volume traded bar. That's crazy. So we want to look at Penn, PENN, versus even I was looking at MGM myself, guys. So Penn National Gaming. I mean, here, an opportunity like last week. Stock went to 3. Now it's at 9. Who the hell bought this thing at 375 that didn't give us a knock on the door? That was a big opportunity there. Wayfair, nice to see W. So here's one that, again, all last week, it seems that the real low occurred in the market 3 days ago. The stock market index makes us think that it's still going down. Meanwhile, we got a lot of stocks that bottomed out last week. Interesting, right? You wouldn't think that, but that's why we're looking and running through these scans. So bottom line, we've got Wayfair. We've got a lot of names. There's so many names here. I think you need to review this. The concept is, to me, I'm starting to get Harsco. That's a material company, I thought, not a service company. Harsco is in the metals, I thought. Waste management. I thought Harsco was in materials. Maybe waste management. Well, maybe that's the materials they remove. It's a material. Harsco, HSC. I thought Harsco was a metals company, but maybe I'm confusing it with the name. All right, moving forward, gang. Obviously we have, it looks like there was some buying going in the market today, and some really weird stuff. El Dorado Resorts, really? Wendy's? Okay, I get that. But I would have loved to have bought Wendy's at $6, not at 11, but still the point being is there is some buying going on, but a lot of these stocks bottomed out last week. Individual stocks bottomed out last week. The market makes you think that it's still going down. Somebody's already been buying some of this stuff. Look at Roku. All right, Roku, big update today, big recovery, but last week it bottomed out, not this week. So the stocks are bottoming out, giving us the impression that the stock market's still going down. This is a very strong indication, friends, that we are getting a turn, and I'm betting that's why the VXX is down, not up, because the market has already bottomed. We just don't know it. So my call for tomorrow is you want to be paying close attention to good buy setups. We're starting to see too many names. Shopify is a high-risk trade, man. And here it is with a daily high close doji. These are some really neat setups, gang. It looks like we've already seen, or at least a slight intra-week bottom. Here's Win. I know MGM. It did the same thing. It bottomed last week. Let's take a look at ADBE. It's not in the list here because it already generated, but what did it do? It bottomed last week. I knew that. So I was hoping to see a pullback, and we're not getting it. Lyft. Look at all these names that generated PPS buy signals that showed up today. That's pretty crazy stuff. Lots of stuff here. ON Semiconductors, Micron Technologies, MU, all the semis were up today. This is very positive. So if you ask me, do we have a temporary bottom at least? A tradable low? This is telling me yes, because the stock market, individual stocks, and a lot of them in all spaces. WDC, crappy little, what do they make? Hard drives. Someone once told me, oh, I hate that company. They make crappy hard drives. I was like, well, I'm sorry. They seem to be in every computer. So I jokingly always say the crappy hard drive maker, WDC. They're in like every computer. I don't know how they're crappy. That's beyond my pay grade. Dell Computers. I already talked about it. They bottomed last week. They had a high close doji last week. They're looking pretty wholesome. So they're probably in here too. There they are right there. Dell, like I was saying. So anyway, this is pretty Royal Caribbean. Well, maybe because they're going to get a bailout. They were 130. They went down to 19 last week. And, now they're trading at 28. So we are seeing some value in a lot of names, and the lows were made last week. The indexes still look like they haven't bottomed out. But we look at this, and I say, gee, lots of names, lots of stocks, heavy-duty semiconductor technology names. Lyft, they may change their, get a facelift, no pun intended, with their company and be a food delivery or product delivery service company. So, there's different ways and creativity that we could see a newfound economy out of this. And I got to tell you, man, I think it looks pretty impressive here, this tape. Electronic Arts, EA. All right, people are at home, and the whole thing, GameStop, Electronic Art, Activision, Blizzard. I don't know about that. I'd probably buy Sony. I don't know, to be truthful, but I'd rather buy Sony than I would buy a video game, because I don't play video games. So that's my problem. So I'm not the greatest expert in that space. I thank you for your time. I thought this was a very eye-opening session. If I told you that I had something like, 252 stocks that bottomed out last week that had generated buy signals today, and the stock market was down, you'd think I was smoking crack or on drugs. This is pretty crazy. I hope you appreciate today's video. You watch it tomorrow. Have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.